Hey Modern Taya, I see you have a poster of Ancient Elf back there. Who asked for that poster? No one's gonna buy it. Oh, we're done. Welcome to the new deck we're using for this tournament. It's kind of garbage. I just chose monsters I thought would be entertaining and difficult to use to give myself a bit of a challenge. A bit of a fair challenge, unlike the one the game presents itself. The deck is vaguely warrior themed. But warrior monsters were always my favorite, especially the lower level warrior monsters, you know, the throwaway cards nobody uses. I try to use those as much as possible. We also have a secondary deck theme in water monsters. Because there aren't too many magic and trap support cards, your deck can have two themes, no problem. So I'd absolutely fucking love to tell you some shit about Rex Raptor's deck, but I don't remember a goddamn thing about Rex Raptor's deck because it's been so long since he's been a fucking challenge. I can tell you that I like Rex Raptor as a character, and I feel that he's underrated in the anime. His personality isn't anything special, as most of the personalities I'm antagonists in Yu-Gi-Oh! Tend to be, you know, pretty one-dimensional. Pegasus is about as complex as that shit gets. I guess you could say Kaiba's relatively complex if you wanted to. But it's arguable if Kaiba is even an antagonist anymore. He used to be. Anyway, I like Rex Raptor not necessarily because of his personality. I could have sworn that worked. Not necessarily because of his personality, but because of the character development it gives Joey. People kinda tend to brush off the fact that Rex Raptor performed in the national championships. You know, he was second place. And Joey had just started learning how to play duel monsters, so Joey winning against Rex Raptor was incredible. Even the anime kinda downplays how great that was. I also think it makes the Red Eyes way better an ace card than people give it credit for. Like, sure, Joey won that card, he didn't always have it, but I think that's what makes it special. The other ace cards of the other characters, they just kind of have those all the time. But Joey won his, fighting a duel that he never should have won in the first place. Because he's just that fucking rad. So I think Red Eye's Black Dragon is probably the best ace card in the original series, because it says a lot more about Joey's character than any of the other ace cards do about the other characters. Like, Joey is the underdog, that's his entire fucking character. So the way he won the Red Eye's Black Dragon is perfect. So no, he didn't always have that card, but we actively see him fighting the fight that lets him deserve it. And I think that's way better. Oh, Rex is gone. I didn't even get to mention that Rex is the guy you grind for dragon monsters. Hey Taya, we're back. So about that Ancient Elf poster, I really don't think anyone's interested in buying Ancient Elf. I could be wrong, but I don't think it has very much synergy with the rest of All We're Done. Wait, shit, I forgot there were also Beast Warriors in this deck. I guess it's a Warrior, Beast Warrior, and Water deck. It's not important. Just let it be what it is. Don't fucking worry about it. We're gonna win anyway. It was made to be a mess in the first place. So in spite of Weevil rambling the fuck on about insect monsters like he usually does, his boss monster is actually fucking Pumpkin, and he has the field spell to turn it into a really beefy beater too. I didn't realize he was Bones. I don't have any particular fondness for Ancient Tool, I just think it looks goofy and it sounds like a really shitty insult. Like a really, really shitty insult. But yeah, I've never exactly seen Weevil play many bug monsters. Maybe that's just luck, but he mostly seems to play generally forest-themed monsters. I guess Pumpkin fits in there somehow. The thing about this shitty-ass game is that the way that the enemies pull from their decks is incredibly fucked up. So if you don't see their boss monsters or beaters in the first few turns, chances are they're not in their deck at all. I don't have the brain power to explain to you why exactly that is, but it's something about them pulling from predetermined deck allotments and some shit like that. Don't worry about it. The game's broken and shitty. All you need to know is that if they don't pull out their boss monsters in the first few turns, you're probably okay. Unless they have a deck that's meant for fusioning boss monsters, which becomes less and less common as you go further into the game. But there's one particular character that has a great fusion in this arc. At least I think she can fusion it. She may just have the card. I'm not sure. I suppose we'll see when we get there if she decides to summon it, but I know she has the card. Anyway, Weevil's done for. See, Taya, I think you can turn Ancient Elf into Mystical Sand or Neko Gal number 2, but the thing about that is that if you have an Ancient Elf early enough in the game where those would be useful oh, we're done. Alright, cool, it's time to fight Mai. I don't remember a damn thing about Mai's deck either, so let's just talk about Mai. I don't get her. I don't get her character. I don't get how she beat Rex. I don't get how that works. Apparently, you know, the fact that she could supposedly read her cards intimidated her opponents. But I don't fucking get it. How does that intimidate them that you can see the top card of your deck? Like, yeah, that's an unfair advantage, but who gives a shit? Why would that scare a world champion, a national champion? The fucking point is, why would that scare Rex Raptor enough to make him lose the duel? Just chill the fuck out, man. I'm pretty sure your cards are just better than hers anyway, so how did you lose even though she, like, did you just piss yourself? And forget to play any of your cards because you were so freaked out that she could read the top card of her deck? The thing about Kazuki Takahashi is that I don't think he understands, or ever will understand, or has ever understood how card games fucking work. Which is why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is such a goddamn mess and more of a marketing strategy than a valid card game. Because, you know, if you try and watch the anime or read the manga, it's just complete and utter bullshit that anybody who's ever played a card game in their life can tell you is not accurate in the slightest. If you're watching Yu-Gi-Oh!, hopefully you're watching it for the goddamn character development, because the actual card game part sure is shitty as hell. One of the things that baffled me the most is when Joey is dueling Mai, and he notices that Mai's powering up her Harpy Ladies a lot using equip cards. So, Joey and Yugi come to the conclusion that because of that, the only monsters in Mai's deck are the Harpy Ladies? Where the fuck did they get that from? There's 40 cards in a deck. That's a lot of cards. There's room for more monster cards than just Harpy Lady and Harpy Lady equip cards. So either Kazuki Takahashi is really shitty at math and probability, really shitty at card games, or really shitty at logic, or just all three of those simultaneously. Nice to see you have a twin-headed King Rex, Mai. That sure makes a lot of fucking sense. Anyway, building a deck around a few monsters is a viable strategy now, but that's because you can search monsters now, which was not a thing when they were dueling Mai. So building a deck around a few monsters and hoping your opponents freak the fuck out because you can read your card is not a valid strategy. Look at that 100 attack boost we got for summoning Flame Swordsman. I guess I just like Flame Swordsman is why I did that. Did you know he's one of the few cards to get a special animation in fucking Legacy of the Duelist? Which is weird because he's a real pain in the ass to summon and not really worth it. Unless I'm being a hipster, why the fuck would I summon Flame Swordsman when I have Dark Blade? And I don't need diffusion shit to summon Dark Blade, I can just plop Dark Blade on the field whenever I feel like it. And he's a warrior card. What are you even for, Flame Swordsman? Are you for that really, really shitty fusion chain that eventually gives you Dark Sage? Okay, so today I was thinking that Ancient Elf poster, maybe replacing it with a Thunder Dragon or twin-headed Thunder Dragon poster, or a poster with both cards. I feel like that would be a much better marketing decision for your shop. I love Bandit Keith because he's such an unsubtle representation of how Japan feels about America, and the four kids dub embraced it as well as they could. You know, they took it in stride. And I think that just in general shows how okay America is with the idea of Bandit Keith. We're all a little bit like Bandit Keith deep down inside. We all can jump 20 feet in the air like an anime man and carry guns around everywhere. That's totally normal. You ever need a role model, just look to Bandit Keith. Bandit Keith is the perfect example of humanity. And if you're not walking like Bandit Keith with your hands in your pockets and your back hunched over like a creepy stalker, then what are you even doing with your life, really? Why are you even fucking bothering to live? Did we just get run over by Dark Elf from a Bandit Keith deck? You know what, fuck it, it's fine, whatever. Another thing interesting about Bandit Keith is that 4Kids did not bother to censor his cross or any Christian religious imagery in the entire show, for that matter. They don't censor his cross, they don't censor the crosses in the graveyard areas. They don't censor that time he prayed to Jesus to give him the ability to jump 20 feet in the air so he could point a gun at Pegasus's face. They didn't censor any of that shit. Yes, the Sea Snake, Bandit Keith's signature card. Just like Yugi's signature card is the Barrel Dragon. They're inseparable. Now, personally, I'm a much bigger fan of Blowback Dragon. I just think it looks a lot cooler than Barrel Dragon. I could see that being a good ace card, not because it's good to use, but damn, I could have sworn that made Flame Swordsman. By the way, not that anyone really cares, I'm sure, but with the recent release of Proton Blast and the TCG, luck-based coin flip decks got a huge boost in consistency. They're actually viable for casual play now. Next step is meta play. Come on, Konami, I know you can do it. Gambler of Legend to FTK, come on, I want it to happen, let's do it. Or if we can't do a Gambler of Legend to FTK, at least make Gambler of Legend the best removal card in the game. You know, he's a really shitty removal card as is, but just tweak him a little, make him the best removal card in the game. I'll accept that instead. Also, if you could make a Gambler of Legend archetype, I would appreciate that greatly. Make an archetypal second coin toss.